Hey everyone, it's Yvette, and today I'm going to do a little bit of a different video. I want to do more of like a meal prep style type of video. It's about 7:10 this morning and I'm getting ready to go to work. But before I go to work, I decided I'd show you what I am making for today. So I have a whole chicken here that I am going to actually cook in a slow cooker today. It's actually very easy. I've done it once before and it just like falls right off the bone. So I really enjoy this method because it's very hands-on at the very beginning and then it kind of does the work by itself. So if you want to see how that goes, then just be sure to keep watching. What you'll need for this is obviously a whole chicken, or you can put whatever pieces of the chicken that you like. In a slow cooker, typically chicken thighs work really, really well as well. I've got some adobo, some garlic salt, some consomme, basically a chicken bouillon, some onion salt. I like to put barbecue on the sauce to put a little bit of a nice roasted flavor on there. It reminds me of rotisserie chicken. I've also got a packet of sazon, 1 onion, 2 cloves of garlic, some chicken broth, and these slow cooker liners. I really like the way they work. They make it very easy and hassle-free, so I'm going to be using that. I'm using about 2 limes for this, so I'm going to go ahead and start cutting a lot of these components, getting things ready, and then I'll come back when I'm putting it all together. I apologize for the angle of this, but it's really just kind of in a rush and I want to make sure I can show you all this. So I'm grabbing one of those bags from the slow cooker line and I'm just kind of putting it over and making sure it's nice and open to receive everything. So this chicken I got and I made sure to defrost it for about 2 nights. Okay, it's been sitting in my fridge defrosting. I did kind of poke some holes in it to make sure that everything could get soaked up inside of the chicken. So the first thing I'm going to do after placing it in is I'm going to put in the chicken broth so that it has a nice little bath to sit in. And I'm going to do the whole can. I also like to make sure my chicken has some color, so I do go ahead and put in some sazon. Hold on 1 second, right over the top. And I'm probably going to grab a spoon to kind of mix this stuff up. Next, I'm going to put in a little bit of adobo, not too much, because the chicken stock already has salt. And I'm going to also add some other salty ingredients, so I don't want to over salt this thing. I'm adding some onion salt, just a little bit there. Some garlic salt. Here we go. Just gonna add about a spoon of this or so. And I know it looks like a lot, but this is a whole chicken, y'all. So I'm gonna rub it on there real good. Make sure it's nice and seasoned up top. I'm gonna pour a little bit of that broth on top to try to get it a little wet. I honestly wish it wasn't so big for my little slow cooker, but we're gonna make it work the best we can. And then, you know, we go from there. So I've chopped these onions into little slices, and you want to try to break them apart a little bit as you're putting them in. They're just going to cook and caramelize and just add to all that yummy goodness. And then we're just going to throw in that garlic. Next, I'm going to grab my citrus squeezer. But I'm squeezing in the juice of 2 limes. Forgot one of the most important ingredients. I like to add some bay leaves for good measure. So I'm going to throw a few little leaves in there. And lastly, we're going to finish it up with some barbecue sauce. So I'm going to give that a quick stir. Make sure it's kind of getting in the sauce and make sure it's also coating the top of the chicken here so it has a little bit of moisture. And then we're gonna put this bad baby to cook. All right, so I'm gonna move it over and get it going. Last step before we have to go, and again, I apologize for the mess. This is just real life. But we're gonna go ahead and put it on slow, low for 8 hours, and when I come back, we'll see how this goodness turned out. All right, guys, so I'm holding the camera with my hands, so I apologize for the very bad filming job, but I just wanted to show you I just got back home. This is what it's looking like. There's definitely a bit of grease and oil in there, so we'll have to kind of eliminate that and work with it. But on the side of that, I'm going to be making some vegetable rice. So I'm gonna set you on my tripod and then I'll explain what's happening so far. So I turned off the stove so that it wouldn't burn. But what I'm making right now is the vegetable rice. And what I started out with so far is a big spoonful or two of my sofrito. This is homemade sofrito. It's a primarily Puerto Rican seasoning. If you'd like a video on how I make that, let me know, and I will make sure to try to make a video about that. If you are interested, please leave me a comment down below or let me know on Facebook if you have me on Facebook. Mix that up. To the sofrito, I did add some sazon. I added a whole packet because it is quite a bit of sofrito. And then I went ahead and added, and I'm gonna add a little bit more. Added some oil. Any oil you use is fine, but I'm using extra virgin olive oil in case you're curious. All right. So I'm gonna give that a little mix. And then I am going to go wash my rice and I will turn this back on and we'll get back into the action. I've got my rice washed up and right now I am getting ready to move on to getting that vegetable rice going. I'm going to turn on my stove up to about medium-high heat, closer to high heat pretty much, and I will be working on getting this to saute a little bit. You want to make sure you give a little bit of time for this to saute occasionally so it doesn't burn. Once the oil starts to bubbling up, that's when you kind of want to add your tomato sauce. You can add any kind of tomato sauce you like. I'm just using the Publix brand. And I'm going to use half a can. That's what I normally use. And then you give that a quick stir. So once that starts jumping a little bit is when you kind of want to add your vegetables. I am using a can of mixed vegetables. It would probably be far more nutritional if you use frozen vegetables or even better fresh vegetables, but unfortunately your girl is not doing that today, so I apologize, but I'm trying to get my veggies in one way or another. Again, if you have frozen vegetables or better yet fresh vegetables, I would recommend you throw that in as opposed to it. But if you're doing it on a budget or the vegetables aren't in season or whatever the case, good old can of vegetables ends up working out well. 2 cups of water here. I'm going to pour that in. All right, perfect. And then I've got 2 cups of rice here. I'm going to throw that in just a second, but I want to season this first. The same flavors incorporated in it, so I'm going to actually add a little bit of the chicken bouillon to this vegetable rice. Just a little bit, not too much. This might be too much, but then I'll just lower the salt content on other ingredients. Not to worry, friends. Ooh, yeah, that might have been a little more than I wanted, but it is what it is. You live and learn. A little bit less, but some garlic salt. A little touch of onion salt. And then some good old-fashioned cumin, ground cumin. A little, ooh, darn it. Again, a little heavier handed than I wanted to be. But regardless, we're gonna make it work. And then lastly, it's just an ingredient I wanna kind of use to bring things together. I really like bay leaves, and I like the flavor they add. So I'm gonna throw in a few leaves of bay leaves. And we'll let that come to a nice little boil. And again, you want to stir occasionally so things don't stick or burn. Okay, so the rice is starting to come to a boil. I'm going to give it a quick little stir. And I am going to throw the rice in because at this point it's pretty much ready for rice. Now I hope this is not too much rice for this little pot that I've picked here, but we'll see. We're going to find out. And I'm put my little glove on because I'm not trying to burn myself. Your girl is a coward. Your girl is a coward. And I like to just stir it around and feel. You know, I feel like I might have a little too much broth in my hands, but oftentimes that's a little trick that gets me. I have been spoiled, y'all. I do not cook rice all that often. I have a rice cooker, and that has jacked me up because now your girl don't know how to make rice that well. So we gotta say a prayer for this rice. The chicken, though, I think that's gonna be just fine. But the rice, I'm a little bit concerned about. So we'll see. But anyway, basically what you do now is you kind of just stir occasionally, make sure nothing burns down there, mix it every now and again. And then when it's pretty much boiled or soaked up all the water, that's when you turn it on a very low simmer, cover it, and then you kind of just wait until it's absorbed all of the water and cooked through. So this is kind of the point where you say, all right, let me go ahead and turn down the heat. I'm going to give it a second or so more, and then I'm going to turn down the heat here. All right, so time to turn down the heat. We're going to turn it down to like a number 2 or a low heat if you don't have numbers on yours. So I'm going to go ahead and cover it now. And we'll leave that alone for a good long while. All right, y'all, so this may be as good as it's going to be for a little bit. I apologize about the mess. But as we said earlier, this is real life. And you know, it is what it is. So what we're going to do is I'm going to grab a big spoon, like a big slotted knife, and try to see if I can transfer this large chicken into my silver pan here. Oh, good Lord. This is a heavy duty now, y'all. Okay, so as you can see, it's breaking apart on me, which is only a good sign, which means it's like break apart good. Okay? I was hoping I was able to transfer it whole, but that's not going to be a thing today. But you know what? Regardless, you get to see all the goodness that is. We're having a good old time up in here. So I'm going to scoop this out, and we'll save what's good and we'll take out what's bad. I'm probably going to try to shred it up. Oh, baby. This is exquisite. Just takes a little bit of prep time in the morning, and you add your seasonings to your taste, and there we have it. You know, that's simple as that. All right, now so that the good stuff has been taken out of the slow cooker, I thought I'd film this process of me just literally picking out the bones. Usually this is a hard task when you don't have chicken that has been roasting all day, but when it's been roasting, it falls apart like nothing. It's like butter. Don't you see that? I literally just flick the spoon and there it is. It's just incredible. Like, that's like, I don't know if y'all see this. There's the wishbone. We'll see if we'll save it for later. Right there. There's another bone. It's just, want to pull it out of here? Right there. Oh, it's hot. But look. Look, clean. Those bones are coming out clean. Clean. It's like, look at this. If I wanted to pull out these individual, but look at that. It just comes right off. That right there is good cooking. If you haven't tried it, I recommend it. Far healthier and more economical to do it yourself. You can control how much sodium is in it, what kind of flavors you like, how long you want it to cook. Now, if you're home and you don't want to, you leave it for that long, you can probably cook it fast. Have a whole tray of chicken with little effort. With little to no effort. It's just fall off the bone good. It just is. I can't say anything else. I really can't. That is good cooking. What I ended up pulling in terms of bones from it, and like, it's pretty clean. That's what the rice is looking like so far. I'm gonna give it a quick stir. I'm gonna wrap this video up. The rice is turning out delicious. The chicken looks amazing. And I'll update you guys once I edit this about how it turned out. So the food ended up turning out really well. I decided to cut up some tomatoes and serve it on the side. We did end up eating this the second day as well, and it was just as delicious, if not more. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you guys have an awesome day and that you give this a try. Thanks and take care. Bye.